So I have a bone to pick with society. Because when it comes to creating what it is we want to create, there is a very old level of thinking. And the old level of thinking is when I figure out what to do, i.e., I get the right tools, I get the right strategy. Okay, I'll make the business plan first. Okay, I need to know where I'm going. I need to know my purpose. I need to know my direction. This is the old paradigm. This is the old way of looking at the world, the old thinking that the world tells us we need. You need to get the degree at university, and then you will be smart, and then you'll feel better about yourself. You need to attract the perfect woman, and then you'll realize that you're a sexy beast, and then you'll feel happy. That order of strategy, story, state is the old way of thinking. And I'm going to flip this shit on its head and give you the truth of the matter on how we actually create change in our life. And that's why I promised you said that we'll probably change and figure out your purpose in the next 10 minutes, to be frank. Because right now we're walking around in strategy going, what's my purpose? And Andy, I don't know what the vision is for my business. I don't know who to hire. I don't know what to do. Strategy. And this old way of thinking, we think when we figure out strategy, our story will change. We go, oh, I'm feeling great about myself now. I'm awesome. I'm an amazing human being. I'm impactful and a contribution to society. And then our state, or our feeling will change. That's bullshit. Because we can't decide shit if we feel like shit. If I had a depressed person behind a curtain and I asked you to tell me what they looked like, you would say, oh, they're probably hooded over in the dark, slumped over, probably mumbling, not really keen. And if I asked you what a confident person looked like, you'd say shoulders back, leaning back, talking quite low, talking quite slow, talking with confidence. And these two ways of thinking, this depressed person and energetic person, is about their states are different. So if we can purposely change our state, we can then change our story, and then the strategy of what we should do will just fall out. Don't worry, I'm scrambling your brain for a reason. We're going to go deeper. So here's some psychology for you. Some concrete, not conscious level thinking, just what the brain is. Now, you guys may know this already, but we evolved. Did you know that? We didn't just get plonked here and here we are, this beautiful conscious being with this beautiful conscious brain and running around thinking we rule the fucking world. No, we've evolved. And at the very bottom of our evolution is the brainstem, or what's known as the reptilian brain or the midbrain. And this tip of the brainstem, crucial elements is food, sleep, keeping our heartbeat going, our breathing, and pooing and peeing. Now, this is at the very core of our nervous system, top of our spine, and then there's this part, the brainstem, which looks after all of this. It sends signals to the brain saying, I need food. It sends signals to the brain saying, I need sleep. It sends signals about breathing and responding and pooping and peeing. Now, above that is the limbic system. And this is the classic part of our brain that looks after fight or flight. When we feel like we're in flow and we're just moving through the motions and everything's just easy, that's this part of the brain is looking after that. When we're, say, running, doing exercise, and we're just moving freely, this part of the brain is controlling all of that. The parts of our brains that look after the cerebellum of the back here is what looks after your motor functioning. That is this part of the limbic brain. It's taking care of the more advanced things rather than the brainstem, which is an on and off switch. Just saying, feed me, don't feed me. I need sleep, I don't need sleep. Breathe, don't breathe, right? This one adds another level of complexity. This part of our brain also helps us understand when we're fully immersed in a task and something we really want to focus on, or something we really don't want to do. Again, coming back to that fight or flight system, that towards or away from motivation. It's also got part of the social elements, right? Where we attach to people or disattach from people. Now, above that is then this part that you and I thinking out loud, the neocortex. Now, this is the decision-making part of our brain, right? This is the one where we've only just achieved in the last 200,000 years, is being able to see and predict what could happen. If I poke the tiger, it'll probably bite me back. And this level of consciousness is only 200,000 years old, really, that deep self-reflection, that compassion and humor for other human beings, and contextual understandings of concepts and knowledge sharing. We only started really communicating knowledge about 400,000 years ago, where we started using other mediums other than language. So this new understanding of understanding in itself is so fucking fresh to the human brain that that's why it's so weak. It's why we struggle to make decisions. It's why deep reflection and knowing thyself is actually quite a complicated task to achieve. And ethical judgment, particularly in our modern world, where we've got so many he said, they said, one way, this way, it's just overwhelming because it's so fresh to our brain. And the reason why I touch on this stuff is this comes back to this old way of thinking, where the brainstem and the limbic system and then the neocortex is essentially state story strategy, where the brainstem is responsible for our state. So if we're not eating, sleeping, dealing with our aerobic system, exercising, breathing properly, pooping and peeing in a healthy way, our state's not going to work. And if we're not emotionally sound, we are not withdrawing from society and from our lives. We're in sort of a routine rather than reacting to life. That's our story. And when it comes to this higher level thinking, this decision making, this deep reflection, this compassion and humor and contextual understanding of what the fuck we want to do with our lives, is strategy. You see the linkages? Now you see where I've got that little brain logo in the corner? Now, if what I was sharing around this old way of thinking is completely fucking broken, and it shouldn't be figure out the strategy, figure out the story, figure out the state. Because what that old way of thinking is saying is when I decide what to do, when I've made the decision, I will then be able to flow in what I'm creating. I will be fully immersed in what I'm creating. I'll have that passion, I'll have that excitement, and I'll be motivated rather than reactive. And then I'll feel better as a human, just in general, my energy, my vitality. Then I'll feel better, then I'll feel happy, then I'll feel great. So if the old way is clearly broken, because that's not really how the brain works, because we are animals first. This brainstem part of us is billions of years old. It has the trump card. It has the joker. Every time we want to do something, if this part of ourselves is not happy at the base of our brain, nothing's going to change. That's why I said if you feel like shit, you can't decide shit. Because we have to look after this part of our brain, this level, to get up to the next level. We have to be fully healthy and happy in our body, with our breathing, with our health, with our exercise, with our nutrition. So then we can just get to this level where we're not feeling depressed, we're not feeling anxious, to then get to this level where we can make decisions, where we can have deeper self-reflection, where we can have a deeper connection with other human beings. So the new framework and the paradigm that we're going to be going through, mainly through this training, is this new SSS framework, where we're going to master the state, story, and strategy in this order rather than the other order. Society tells us, learn this, go to school, read these books, then you'll be smart, then you'll be happy. It's bullshit. We start at this end, start with our state. If we can completely change and transform our state, we change the way we think and feel. We've all exercised or done a hike or done something and felt amazing. And then all of a sudden, ideas are sparking, things are moving, things are creating. And then we go back home and sit on the couch and fuck all happens. Have you experienced that? Yeah. So we get to flip the hierarchy. This is the new hierarchy where you're eating, your nutrition, you're sleeping, you're breathing. Pooping and peeing, not sure how we can sort of master that one, but it's part of it, you know, like don't hold your pee in, it's bad for you. Literally, like go pee when you need to pee. And that will then help us with our autonomous fight or flight nervous system, our flow, our immersion, our focus, our direction, our decision making. So fuel for thought for here is, what does my body need? How can I change my state in this moment? Rather than what should I do? Like life-wise, where should I take my life? What should I do in business? What should I do? How do I talk to my partner about this really difficult conversation? How do I do this? How do I do that? Forget about it. Because if our bodies don't agree first, we're not going to do it. We need to get in a state. I'm going to say the word state a lot. So when I say state, I mean that high vibrational energy, that feeling good, feeling great kind of vibe where we're just fizzing. Like me, always fucking fizzing because I'm high as a kite on this stuff. So the mantra here, change your state, change your life. And there are dozens of ways to change your state. And you know the obvious ones. Nutrition. You are what you eat. They've been fucking saying it for decades. If you eat shit, you're going to feel like shit. If you drink lots of alcohol, alcohol is a depressant. Why do you think you're going to feel depressed? Because you're drinking liquid depression. Now, I still have a cheeky beer, but I'm just saying, no need to binge drink every night. Alkalize your body. We are all just so sensitive at a cellular level. Drink lemon water. Drink more water than you fucking need. Drink till you need a pee. Your pee should only ever be clear. Look at this giant drink bottle. I wish we could just do this whole thing on state, on exercise, and shifting.